Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for joining me on the Angry Truth channel. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about deprogramming Trump supporters. Now, this is probably by far the stupidest call to reprogramming people. First of all, it is the stupidest ideology running out there right now, that Trump supporters need to be deprogrammed. Now, I get it that some people are diehard Trump fans. Right? I get it that some people are diehard those Q people, and those Q people are fucking idiots. I'm done with them, and they're quantum computers, and it tells the future, and Trump knows this because he has it. Shut the fuck up, guys. Really, grow the fuck up with that Q bullshit. I can't understand why morons are allowed to speak like they do. It's enough already. I was watching a video yesterday morning, and the guy was on there talking about, like, guys, Trump will be back in office come March 4th because, you know, the quantum computer told him that it'll happen and he had to let Biden win. I'm like, you had to let Biden win so that you could do what? And that that Americans are no longer products of America. We are now people of America. I almost threw my phone out of the fucking moving car. That's how annoyed I was with that video. Anyway, and that's that Q bullshit thinking. So, thanks to them, Trump supporters need to be deprogrammed, according to a bunch of asshole politicians. Now, guys, no one needs to be deprogrammed. Yes, people do need to let it go. That's for fucking sure. But being deprogrammed, you're running down the same road that Hitler did. Same exact fucking road. And I'll explain the difference in a little bit. Trump supporters are now being branded as cult followers. So apparently Trump, Donald Trump that is a cult leader because of his narcissistic ways. Now, reading a couple of the articles about deprogramming Trump supporters and making, turning Trump into a cult leader, Trump does fit some of the labels out there. The narcissist, all about himself, look at me, me, me. We all seen that. We all watched him talk about how good he is and this, that, and the third. But he also puts the country first. So there is that. And narcissists, true narcissists, don't do that. They make it all about themselves. He didn't make it all about himself during his presidency. He helped out other people. And when he helped out other people, he didn't pat himself on the back. Now, when he wrote certain policies, he patted himself on the back. But when he helped people, like what he did for Martin Luther King's gravesite, he didn't boast about that. He did what he did for Martin Luther King and he let it go. All right? What he did for the black colleges, he didn't boast about that. He did that and he let it go. So Hitler and the Nazi Party were considered a cult fanatic, a cult faction, and they're comparing Trump supporters to cult followers. So now Trump supporters are being labeled as cult followers, and it's a catchy movement here in the United States right now. So obviously you're going to have people like, you know what, those Trump supporters, we have to deprogram them. There's fucking nothing to deprogram. The only people that need to be deprogrammed, and they're not even deprogrammed, they just need a bat to the back of the head or the Q people, because the shit that they're pushing is insane. But they shouldn't be the deciding factor on all Trump supporters needing to be deprogrammed. Nobody needs to be deprogrammed. Some people just need to be ignored, right? Q people, let me walk that back. They don't need to be deprogrammed. They just need to be ignored. That's it. You fucking ignore them, they'll go away eventually. But being deprogrammed, what does that mean? Putting them in a camp, right? Putting them in a school. And you're going to be putting them in a school or a camp by force. They're not going to fucking walk into these places and say, you know what, I need help. I want to go to this deprogramming camp too. Nobody is going to do that. So that's not going to happen. Trump has also been compared to L. Ron Hubbard and Jim Jones, another one. And those two guys are fucking kooks, right? L. Ron Hubbard, if I'm not mistaken, he founded Scientology. We all know that's a cult. And Jim Jones was Mr. Drink the Kool-Aid down in Guyana, if I'm not mistaken, right? So these two guys, listen, L. Ron Hubbard, his cult-like following is way less violent than Jim Jones, who killed a lot of fucking people down in Guyana, right? I think it was called Jonestown, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, he killed a lot of people because he forced them to drink Kool-Aid. Now, some people drank the Kool-Aid and died, and other people, believe it or not, a larger percentage of those people in Jonestown drank the Kool-Aid by force. Now, there were some who didn't drink the Kool-Aid and got shot anyway. They were like, well, fuck it. If you're going to shoot me for drinking something that's going to kill me, why not just shoot me now? Okay, and they shot him. So there's a pretty cool documentary on it, on the whole Jim Jones thing. It's when it gets to the end, that's where it gets real shitty. And so I warn you, if you get to the end of that documentary, you're going to see some dead bodies and dead kids. So just be forewarned. And they try to blur out like the kids, but you can tell by the size of the body and the feet. But nonetheless, guys, that's bad cult shit, Jim Jones. L. Ron Hubbard, that's bad too, because he's got those Scientology assholes. But nonetheless, they're not killing people. I mean, you know, they're kicking people out of the group, excommunicado kind of shit, never talking to them again. But that's way better than killing people. And to put Trump on the same level as Jim Jones, that's called irresponsible reporting. So Vanity Fair wrote an article called So many great educated and functional people were brainwashed. Can Trump cult followers be deprogrammed? This is an article by Vanity Fair. The writer goes on to say, how can I deprogram somebody? This is a little later in the article. How can I deprogram somebody that has a Trump flag still on their lawn? Because the writer says the Trump flag still on the lawn, or post, if you will, still on the lawn, is a bit antagonistic. All right, pussy, look the other way when you walk by. You don't have to fucking stare at it and go, he's being antagonistic. There's something I should do. I should do something about it. No, asshole. Leave it the fuck alone. Walk the other way. If you have to, walk like this so that you don't see it. Or stop being a pussy and leave the fucking man sign alone. He's asking a question to Stephen Hassan. Now, Stephen Hassan used to be a cult follower. He was a cult follower of the cult Sun Myung Moon. So he was a Moonie, if you will. And Sun Myung Moon was a cult follower, and he was a cult follower of him for 2 years. So Stephen Hassan became a cult following expert, if you will. So he wrote a book called The Cult of Trump. All right, so this is another asshole. Now, listen, there's something to be said about this guy being in a cult himself, and now he broke out after 2 years, and labeling Trump supporters as cult followers because he was in a cult. Now, there's a few different things about being in cults. Now, Sun Mooney's cult, Jim Jones' cult, those were like segregated people. They were brought to an area, to a piece of land, and they were taught X, Y, and Z. It's the same thing with Scientology. Except for Scientologists, they could live amongst everyone else, but they go to a church, if you will. Sun Mooney's people, I think they were on land, and Jim Jones, they were on land. So that's a little bit different. Trump supporters can't call them cultists because they're not meeting in places and talking about how to destroy America or how to stay away from other people who are not Trump supporters. And they're not calling people who don't support Trump, communists and patriots and shit. I'm sorry, communists and the enemy. That's what Trump supporters are not doing. Therefore, they can't be a cult, and they're not following a cult leader. So to compare Sun Myung Mooney's cult followers and L. Ron Hubbard's cult followers and Jim Jones cult followers to Trump followers is a fucking bit of a stretch, guys. It really is. There is no difference. Like, I support Trump, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking ride into the sunset with the guy. I'm just like, all right, he's out of office now too, guys. He's out. But guess what's gonna happen? This is where the assholism is going to start. Trump is out of office, and yet for the next year or two, you're going to be hearing the left, Democrats, and everybody in between blame Trump for everything that goes wrong this year. Trump is out, and they're still talking about him. You want to heal the country? Stop talking about Trump. But the only reason why they still talk about Trump is because the ratings from the media company are starting to go down. Well, because they're not talking about Trump anymore. Who's going to blame for all the bullshit that's going to start going wrong? So the people who are making noise about Trump supporters being deprogrammed, and they're pushing for this to happen. Well, Katie Couric made a comment on Bill Maher's channel. Stupid. Now her job, I forgot who she's going to work with. I'll put it here now. Now that job is in jeopardy because she made such a stupid comment. Well, you know what? Fuck her and her cute smile. You know, that. Listen, that was her not her tagline, but that was her thing. Oh, Katie Couric's so cute and that cute smile ain't so fucking cute anymore, right? After she made that comment. AOC, another asshole. She was talking about we have to find a way how to deprogram them or reprogram them, if you will. And then you've had Democratic lawmakers also pushing for this as well. So, before I jump into the whole Nazi thing, Psychology Today, which is a magazine, this is a pretty decent magazine, guys, but they wrote an article back in 2017 called An Analyst of Trump Supporters Has Identified 5 Key Traits. This is 3 years ago right now, 4 years ago, sorry, that they wrote this article. Actually, it'll be 4 years in December. But nonetheless, it's still an article where they were already starting to point at Trump supporters being in a cult, or being cult followers, if you will. They already started that. They started that a couple years ago. And I noticed it, but I paid no mind to it because I'm like, where is this going to go? 2021, here we are, calling Trump supporters cult followers. Bad. Because when that starts catching on, they're going to start making headway with it. Now, here's the bigger issue, the bigger umbrella, guys, if you will, with this whole cult following shit. The left has cult following behavior as well then. To identify all of these things in Trump supporters, the left has it as well, right? BLM, especially Antifa. Oh, not so much BLM. I'll walk that back, because BLM, believe it or not, they're having a little bit of a fracturing in their group. They got BLM members who are like, listen, we want to make black lives better, but we got to do this. You know, fix the black community from within, give them jobs, programs, all this other shit. And then you got other members of the BLM, they're like, fuck that, white people owe us, they should pay for X, Y, and Z, and while we're at it, fuck the police. Right? So there's actually 2 different factions within the BLM community. But the left, the other BLM members that want to start inciting riots, they have very cult-like behaviors. They want to destroy from within, they want people to follow them, and if you don't agree with them, they attack you. That's some cult-like shit, right? So the left, Antifa, and the left side of the BLM, if you will, they have cult-like behavior. So Hitler did the same thing with his own people. When he was a chancellor, he wound up jailing 120,000 people across the country of Germany. He took social democrats, put them in jail. He took the Communist Party members, he put them in jail. He also took members from his own coalition in his government and threatened to put them in jail if they didn't step down to start the Nazi Party. Because believe it or not, when Hitler was a chancellor, there was fracturing within his group because people didn't believe in putting these people in jail for the Reichsfire that they wind up blaming on the communists, and then they dragged the Social Democrats in. They also dragged the Nationalist Party members in as well into that Reichsfire, if I'm saying that right. I'll put the correct name now. So he used an event and he dwelled on it, and he got all these people in jail. Sort of similar to what's happening at the Capitol right now. They're trying to throw everybody they possibly can in jail. There were over 20,000 people. You're going to flood the jails with 20, 30,000 people? Not going to fucking happen. And not going to happen without a fight anyway. So guys, to call Trump supporters cult followers is very, very problematic, because these people are going to paint a picture that Trump supporters are the enemy. So right now they're trying to make you feel bad for Trump supporters or us by saying, well, you know what? They were misguided. They need to be deprogrammed. And then in a couple months later, well, if we can't deprogram them, we might as well just put them away because they could be a danger to society. That's going to start popping up soon. It's just the way it's going. It's reading just like the Third Reich, guys. It's reading like Nazi history, if you will. Oh, they're dangerous to society. We might as well round them up now and throw them in jail. Good luck getting 75 million people in jail. Good luck on that. Good luck getting 74 to 75 million people to bend to the will of the left or the Democratic Party. Not going to happen. Right, guys, so other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for joining me on the Angry Truth channel. Like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on the Angryprepper channel. I did relabel my Rumble and BitChute account to the Angryprepper network. So what I'm doing is I'm doing my Angryprepper videos on BitChute and Rumble, and I'm doing my Angry Truth videos on BitChute and Rumble. Therefore, I labeled it the Angry Network channel, or the Angry Network, sorry. All right, guys, thank you for watching.